everyone, and thank you for joining me for Mind Your Own Wellness episode 4. And in this episode, we are talking about, I will be sharing with you all about my Auslan learning journey with myself and my son. So I'm going to take you back a little bit to what started it all off. So I was in hospital, and when I was given the diagnosis, as I've mentioned before, my life had changed in 24 hours. So I went in feeling a little bit off, and then because of that beautiful thing called adrenaline, my body had essentially just went, okay, I'm done, and now I'm shutting down. So when I was finally released from hospital, imagine if you can, I was in a completely vegetative state. I required 24/7 care, and I could not speak, I could not eat, I could not move. Um, and in this process of not having any of this capacity, I also had, I believe CJ was at the age of 4. Could be wrong there, but I think he was around the age of 4. So that's a whole lot for a little 4-year-old to try to comprehend that mummy's home, but who is this new person because I don't know her. So when I got home, like I said, I was in a completely different state. My husband was required to do everything for me, feed me, clothe me, shower me, um, even take me to the toilet, all of the things. So he definitely upheld his vows in that moment because he's done it all. And he never complained. He just got it done. But there was one particular night when my son had said to my husband, why can't mummy say I love you anymore? Of all the things that I had gone through prior to that moment, that really got me. Of all the times that I had tried to, or not tried to, but wanted to give up, desperately wanted to give up. But why am I doing this? This is too hard. It was that moment that CJ had said to his dad, why doesn't mummy say I love you anymore? Why can't she? That shook me, that broke me. And I'm going to take you back a little bit. I want to share with you a movie that I watched once. It's called Soul Surfer with Bethany Hamilton. And I have had the immense privilege of actually meeting Bethany completely by accident once. And Bethany is an absolute powerhouse. She's a phenomenal human being. And if you don't know Bethany or heard of Bethany or have ever watched Soul Surfer, I just want to quickly explain to you why the movie was so pivotal, sorry, in this moment for me in my life. The movie is about Bethany Hamilton's um, surviving, a traumatic accident. So she went surfing one day, and she was, while she was surfing, attacked by a shark. The shark bit, took her arm off completely. As you can imagine, as a surfer, and she was only a young girl at this point, as a surfer, you typically would think you need 2 arms, 2 legs, those kinds of things to duck dive and do maneuvering and things like that. And you would probably be right, except that didn't stop Bethany Hamilton. And watching the movie, it was really remarkable because there was not even a point in time that I could see that she had a tantrum or, had a why me, this isn't fair moment or just lost it. She was so well composed and just kept waking up and trying. So when this moment happened with my son and he said, why can't mummy say I love you anymore? I felt that I went back to that Bethany Hamilton moment and thought I could let our circumstances destroy me, destroy my son and I, to feel sorry for myself, to feel pity for myself, to give up, to just go, oh, this is all too hard. Or I could, and keeping in mind that all the medical professionals that I had been seeing who had been treating me, so to speak, had all said this environment, this state you are currently in is quite possibly a lifelong situation for you. So, from their perspective, that did not give me much hope. That did not give me much of ability to think, okay, this is only temporary. So in that moment, I figured this is the state that I'm in. It's not going to probably improve or shift or change. So I thought to myself in that moment, I could try and do something, learn a new skill, try to build our relationship, try to help our bond, try to help my son. And how could that be a bad thing? How could me wanting to do this be a bad thing? What negative thing or anything negative come from that? I just didn't understand how me trying to learn a new skill could possibly harm either of us. And I thought, if that's the case, all that I'm losing if this does not work is time. And right now, all I have is time because I'm sitting in a bed recovering. That's all I had. I had no capacity to do anything else. So that was the moment I said to my husband, I didn't say it because I couldn't speak, but I wrote it down and I said to my husband, I'm going to learn Auslan with CJ. I don't even remember, to be honest, what my husband's reaction to that was, but we did indeed do that. We learned it. So he communicated with CJ verbally and said, this is what mummy's going to do. Do you want to do it with her? And he was very excited. He was like, absolutely. So we exchanged, typical hugging time at night time, and bedtime stories for hugging and Auslan time. And that went on for months because, as you probably are aware from for the previous episodes, my recovery it's still ongoing, but it's now been almost 5 years. So this is not something that just you do in a week. It was, it took a lot of effort, of practice and commitment from us both. And again, for me as an adult, sure, as an adult, we understand what commitment means. We understand that it's going to take a lot. But for a 4-year-old, he was just all in. From the minute we said, do you want to learn this with mummy? He was all in and he was so excited. So we did. We learnt Auslan together. Um, and I also wanted to just mention, because I'm hearing myself do it, my husband edits the podcast for me, and he says that I do this little clicking thing all the time with my tongue. And so I'm trying to work on that. And I apologize if it's annoying for anyone, but I am working on that and very conscious of it now. So, what's really awesome about the Auslan situation is we were then able to say, I love you, have a good day, all of the weird and wonderful, beautiful things that you have a conversation that we take for granted as mothers. That if we, or even, you don't even have to be a mum. If you have these beautiful conversations with nieces or nephews or any child that you love, or with any person that you love, and you say these things to them or they say things to you and you just communicate, not being able to communicate is earth shattering, especially when you have it in your head. You feel trapped. And I've mentioned this in other episodes. I did indeed feel trapped, but having the capability to use Auslan, and so I should probably step back a little bit from that. If anyone isn't aware of what Auslan is, it's sign language, the Australian version of sign language, Auslan sign language. So just so in case you're a bit or trying to Google Auslan, that's what it is. So it's communicating with your hands. And now what's so fantastic is that CJ and I did this every single day. Every chance we got, we would, talk with one another and learn Auslan and just perfect our technique. And we would jump on YouTube some more and just sit there for hours. And it was amazing. And this kid never wavered. He was always there. He would always turn up. He would always do it. It was, and in that moment as well, like that journey, sorry, that was pretty epic because we now have that story of going, that's what we made happen. We, as a mum and as a child, and even for him, when he grows up, he can say, that's what needed to happen. I wanted a relationship with my mum. I wanted to talk to my mum. I wanted to hear what she had to say. And that's the effort he put in. And again, he was 4, so probably 5, 5.5 by the time we were communicating fluently in Auslan. And as I was saying, fast forward now, and he can still communicate. We haven't given that up just because I can speak now. Neither of us have given up. But what we do now is I encouraged him and said, you have developed and learnt this incredible skill that could help so many people. Use it at school. If you have a friend or a teacher who has a hearing aid or can't hear well or can't hear at all, let them know that you can speak Auslan or sign language if they would like. And there have been occasions where he has said, Mum, there was a friend at school or there was a kid at school who was new. And give me a second, sorry. There was a kid at school and they're having a bit of trouble because they couldn't hear very well, but they knew Auslan. So I would say, hey, it's okay in sign. Hey, it's okay. My name's CJ. I'll help you. And there have been times when he's been able to do that. And I think to myself, how bloody proud I am that I have a child who, at such a young age, was prepared to sit with his mum, learn this skill just to communicate with his mummy, and then continue that skill to help others. Like, he's such a beautiful, special boy, and I'm so proud of him. And his teacher also has a hearing aid. I believe the hearing aid is basically the support that she requires. So I don't believe that the teacher needs Auslan, but it is such a beautiful ability that CJ can offer that now. And I am so, so proud of him for that. So, like I was saying, now we still do it. So we still practice it. We still speak it. When I'm dropping him off at school, for example, we will communicate verbally and with sign because I don't want that skill to ever leave either of us because there is the possibility I will have events again that will take place in my body that will affect my ability to speak, um, like paralysis events, or just I'm not assuming that every day or any day is going to be like today. So today has been a good day, but I can never assume that tomorrow I will wake up and it will be another good day. So when I drop CJ off at school or I pick him up or when I'm uh, collecting him from somewhere or I need crucial information or to share information, we will often speak verbally so others can also understand what we are saying, but then we will use sign because I think especially um, to speak verbally with CJ as well as sign also helps other people to not feel excluded because I felt so excluded when I could not speak because there were so many conversations had about me and I could not contribute or tell people how I felt. And then when I've learned Auslan, I could finally do that. And so I'm not taking that away from myself. And we put so much time, love, and effort into learning this incredible skill. And there is no way that I'm just going to go, okay, well, we don't need it anymore. We can move on. And it's such a beautiful thing. I think CJ, honestly, he's every morning when he's saying goodbye to me, he will sign goodbye and I love you to me. And he's very, very proud. And that's the other thing. I'm not going to stop practicing or stop learning or stop practicing that skill when I know that it's a pivotal part of who we are together now. It's a beautiful thing that we've created together, and I'm not going to lose that. And that basically brings you up to speed with the Auslan and how that all came about. And it's pretty incredible, I think, as well, going back to the Bethany Hamilton situation, because I am a person that likes to draw from things that I've seen. When things make me feel really special or touched or privileged or honored or any of those beautiful emotions, they seem to stick with me until I need them again. And with the Bethany Hamilton movie of Soul Surfer, that moment of just watching her have her life torn apart, literally by a shark, and then not even feel sorry for herself. I mean, visibly, I couldn't see that she was pitying or having a pity party of any kind. She just went, you know what, get on with it. How can I fix this? And then she went on to just do some incredible life-changing things for herself, her family, and, communities all over the world, which is just absolutely incredible. And that's now I can also see that with CJ. I see that CJ and I have learnt this phenomenal skill that not a lot of people take the time for obvious reasons. I mean, do you learn Braille if you're not blind? Do you learn sign language if you're not deaf? Possibly not. I mean, we all like to learn skills sometimes just because we can, but sometimes there's just skills that we just don't see the need, and I understand that. And this is one of those skills that I needed, he needed, and it has made us just so much closer. And like I said, just to see the impact that he's making in such a short amount of time. I mean, he's 8 and he's already making this phenomenal contribution to his environment to support not just children, not just his friends, but adults, so that they know that, oh, okay, great, well done, mate. You can, if I need something or I need help, you can help me. Ah, and that's our Auslan journey. And that was a pivotal part of me not giving up, because it also gave me not busy work. I wouldn't ever call it busy work, but it gave me that purpose. That's the word I was looking for. It gave me purpose. I knew that my son needed me, and I knew that it was something that I had control over and I could give him and I could contribute. And I made it happen. And of course, he made it happen, because he could have just gone, nah, it's okay. I don't want to learn this. Nah, I don't want to do this. But he didn't. He was all in. And he is that kid. He is all in every minute, every day. He's got my back. And another interesting little thing that we do as well, just before we end this um, episode, even before um, what many, many years ago, so just after the crash had occurred, before we were learning Auslan, another signal I have that he's taught his sister is my clap. So obviously with sign language, you need to be able to see the person to be able to communicate. But there have been times when they have himself and my daughter have run off, or when he was younger, before his sister came along, he had run off. And if ever I needed to get his attention, I would clap really loudly and really aggressively. And he learnt very quickly that, yes, okay, that's my mum. I have to go and find her. And he would yell, Mum, I can hear your clap. I'm coming. So it was my instant ability to know that my son was safe and he was getting closer to me. And then I would continue to clap so he knew where I was. So there's just these really cool little tricks that I figured out how to communicate simply to keep us safe, to keep us out of trouble, and to keep my kids with me, even when um, even when they were out of my sight. I would just figure out a way to make it work and to keep them safe and with me and to keep me from panicking as well. So that brings us to the end of episode 4 of discussing our Auslan journey. And I am immensely grateful, as always, to have you join me. And thank you for listening again. Please get in touch if you have any questions. I would be more than happy to share with you any way that I can. And as always, please look after yourself. Please put your wellness first. And thanks again for joining. Much love to you all. See you next episode.